From whirlwind marriages to candid chats about teenage crushes, the heart of Ryan Reynolds' ex-Scarlett Johansson has been on quite the journey. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Love is like a good coffee, it gets better with time, but only if you're brewing it right, someone once said. And if anyone knows about brewing love, it's Scarlett Johansson. The actress who has won millions of hearts with her fierce portrayal of Black Widow has had her own love story full of ups, downs, and eyebrow-raising moments. From whirlwind marriages to candid chats about teenage crushes, Johansson's heart has been on quite a journey. Her love life has been anything but boring, but unlike the high-drama flicks she's known for, her heart's been a little more complicated to figure out. She's had a few rough patches, learned a lot of lessons, and maybe even came to a few conclusions along the way. Now, with her husband, who doesn't mind a good eye cream routine, Johansson seems to have stumbled upon a love that's smooth and steady. But before we get to the happily ever after, let's take a look back at the twists and turns in her romantic history. Her love life has been anything but boring, but unlike the high-drama flicks she's known for, her heart's been a little more complicated to figure out. She's had a few rough patches, learned a lot of lessons, and maybe even came to a few conclusions along the way. Now, with her husband, who doesn't mind a good eye cream routine, Johansson seems to have stumbled upon a love that's smooth and steady. But before we get to the happily ever after, let's take a look back at the twists and turns in her romantic history. When asked if she would have been romantically attracted to Jost had they met in their teenage years, Johansson didn't hesitate for a second. "I don't think so," she said. And with a smirk, she added. But despite the questionable haircuts of yesteryear, Johansson has clearly fallen head over heels for the comedian. In fact, she's found comfort and joy in the simple, tender moments with him. She once shared with Parade that, "What you see is what you get with him." And when asked if she ever thought she'd marry a guy who uses eye cream, she cheekily responded, "He's the first partner I've ever had that uses an eye cream," joking that it was his secret to looking so good on SNL, via InStyle. From their cozy date nights to Colin Jost stepping in as a skincare product tester, their relationship is as real as it gets. Before Colin Jost became the apple of her eye, Scarlett Johansson's love life had its fair share of twists and turns. Her first marriage to Ryan Reynolds was a whirlwind, with the couple tying the knot in 2008 and parting ways just 2 years later. Johansson confessed that she romanticized marriage at the time, via Vanity Fair. But with her split from Reynolds in 2010, the lessons learned would pave the way for her future relationships. Her second marriage to French journalist Romain Doriac seemed to be a more grounded one. They welcomed their daughter, Rose Dorothy, in 2014, and tied the knot in a private ceremony shortly after. However, their marriage ended in 2017, though Johansson and Doriac remained respectful co-parents. Johansson herself admitted, via US Weekly, "We do as good as we can. I'd never experienced anything like it before, so there was no rule book. But if you have respect for the other person, then that's important. You each need to respect the other as a co-parent, and I think we try to act from that space." After a few speed bumps on the love highway, it looks like Johansson has finally found her ride or die in Colin Jost. Their romance kicked off in 2017, and by 2019, they were already talking about forever. Later in October 2020, they quietly tied the knot in an intimate wedding. Mamoru Oshii believes live-action adaptations fail because they cannot fully capture the essence of anime characters and their storytelling. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. The relationship between anime and its live-action adaptation has been volatile for a very long time. Only very rarely do we see a version that can do proper justice to its source material or inspiration. Up until now, mostly historical live actions have been widely accepted, and the ones with fantasy elements, not so much. This becomes especially true with the Hollywood live-action adaptation inspired by the legendary Ghost in the Shell movie of 1995. Scarlett Johansson's version failed to perform greatly at the box office and also got slammed with negative reviews. This might have come as a surprise to its makers, but director Mamoru Oshii of the original film already saw it coming. In a recent talk event with Mantan Web, Mamoru Oshii, the director of Ghost in the Shell and later Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence, was candid about many aspects of this franchise. Apart from discussing a potential third film after so many years, he also disclosed the subject matter he could explore in the new movie. His idea itself has very close ties with the belief that anime characters are deeply connected to their voice actors. However, they still remain separate from them, a theme we also find in the second installment, Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence. For me, she was Motoko herself. Ashiai claimed while remembering the late celebrated voice actor Atsuko Tanaka, who portrayed Motoko Kusanagi for both anime films. Ghost in the Shell 2, Innocence deliberately experimented with voice changes, yet the characters felt authentic. This mirrors the fact that in anime, we might hear a voice, but it is completely separate from the person who is providing the voice. This kind of dissociation helps with a successful anime adaptation that can have a much more emotional depth. However, a similar effect is very hard to copy in a live-action where one cannot separate the voice from the face. The character of Motoko Kusanagi, or Mira Killian in the Hollywood version, got ruined with unnecessary tweaks and faulty representation. Whereas Motoko Kusanagi was a strong and independent police officer, Mira Killian lacked that very essence. However, can the actress be blamed for the fans having such a high expectation? Mamoru Ashiai further clarifies how extremely difficult it is for live-action adaptations to emulate the same emotion as an anime. Motoko and Batu only exist within the world of anime. In animation, the characters are not bound by laws of physics or human realism. Anything can happen there, and expecting the same from actors in a live-action movie is not justified. This is also why many anime to live-action adaptations ultimately struggle to have the same impact. Only a handful of live-action movies that deal with real-life situations or historical setups can succeed, like Rurouni Kenshin. Thus, Mamoru Ashiai's statements make one thing clear. An anime adaptation works because of the crucial elements of voice acting, direction, and animation. It is possible to create a live-action with the same plot and characters, but the end result might not be as compelling. Scarlett Johansson's husband makes a joke about the ongoing Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama, sparking hilarious reactions from netizens. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. The Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama has become the talk of Tinseltown. While fans wage war against Lively and accuse her of making false claims, the film industry has been busy making hilarious remarks about the same. While Chelsea Handler joked about it at the Critics' Choice Awards 2025, the latest one to comment is Scarlett Johansson's husband, Colin Jost. The Saturday Night Live star and Weekend Update co-anchor Jost's hilarious joke was made in reference to the recent fiasco of a meeting between the POTUS Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. While Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are busy trying to prove their innocence and hold the other guilty, fans, media, and the entertainment industry itself couldn't help but make hilarious remarks about their ongoing feud and drama. Even Saturday Night Live didn't hold back in referencing the situation after the Ryan Reynolds SNL fiasco from a few days ago. Recently, Scarlett Johansson's husband and Weekend Update co-anchor Colin Jost talked about the recent heated exchange